time it is!
Thank you once again for checking out the C-Squared Hour. I'm your host, Chris. What else can I say, but here's another episode, number, I don't know, somewhere between 40 and 400, somewhere in there on episodes. It's hard to tell because none of you fuckers reach out to me on social media, so why does that have anything to do with it? I don't know, but I'm trying to be, rough start. Before I get too far into this episode, you are going to be noticing that a topic I'm going to talk about later is one I've been beating to death for months. Unfortunately, it's a slow news week, time, at least for the shit I give a flying fuck about. And this is the biggest thing going on, and it's kind of right in my wheelhouse for my little corner of the media landscape, if you will. So I, once again, apologize for having to sound like a broken record. Oh, yep, that's right, folks. Soundboard is still here. Although the guy who requested it didn't listen to the last fucking episode, so I don't know why I even try. Maybe it's more fun for everyone else. I would put up a poll, like a Twitter poll, to say yes or no on it, but then it shows how many people actually voted, and I really don't want to see one vote. Anyway, let's really get into the show here. A lot of you are going to be noticing that the other microphone is not occupied in the studio. So you're probably asking, where is the other Chris? Funny you should ask. We were having a conversation the other day, and he decided that he was gonna, I don't know if it's a late birthday present, I don't know if he's calling it an early Christmas present, I don't know if he's just banking some niceness in the, I couldn't tell you what, but he's doing me a pretty big solid, and not the poop kind. Okay, you're right. It's too early for a stupid poop joke. I apologize. He's doing me a favor. He is going to the major brewing companies out there, and he is going, basically trying to get them to change from even having 12-ounce cans to strictly 16-ounce cans and bottles. That's it. That is all he wants produced anymore. We were talking, and I said, I don't even know why they make 6-packs of 12 ounces anymore. If you're drinking beer, you're trying to forget something, and you're not gonna forget with 72 ounces. You're gonna need more. Am I right? I think I'm right. And he heard that. I even told him I will buy a lesser of a beer for the 16 ounce, especially golfing. The bigger the beer, the more likely I'm going to buy it. The bigger the portable kind of beer, the cans, the bottles. Especially if I'm golfing, I am going to go with the bigger one because I hate myself. But I'll go to the store, I'm like, I'm going to grab a sixer, and there's a good 6-pack of 12-ounce beers and a mediocre 6-pack of 16. I'm getting the 16 ounces because I got to. So he's decided he's going to Miller, he's going to Coors, he's going to Budweiser, he is going to all these locations and saying, hey, you've already done it with a lot of your 6-packs, you've done it with a few of your 12-packs, just do it across the board. No more 12-ounce cans / bottles / 16 ounces or above. I don't know if it's going to take off. I don't know if it's worth the effort. But I do appreciate the thought, the willingness to say, you know what, Chris? I got your back. I'll help you out here, brother. Because he knows I won't step out and, again, we talked about it. I won't cross the street for anything, really. No matter how passionate I am about something, I'm not going too far. I mean, the most I do to talk about stuff is to walk into my other room. Anyway, that's his plan. He's going to try to get all the beer makers to get rid of any 12 ounce and go straight 16 and above. May not be the most realistic cause, but definitely the most worthy, I would say. Oh, while I'm on the topic, of Chris, he's a little annoyed at me. I haven't been shouting out my merch store as much as I should. So obviously I'm gonna have to let you know, teespring.com has my t-shirts and stuff, so
I am once again asking for your financial support.
Go there, buy shit. All the links are on all my social media, all that, so there. Are you happy, Chris? I said it. I advertised it early. Fucking annoying guy going off on his beer adventure for the last 6 months, and I shouldn't get angry because he's doing it for me. Damn it. What's wrong with me, folks? Well, now that the housekeeping stuff is out of the way, we all know what's coming up next. Let's do this, Randy. The offer's still on the table. We ain't getting any younger. Randy, let's step in the ring and lace him up, bud. I don't know what else I could say about it at this point. I've done all the work. I'm not training at all. You know why. But the work's done. Name a date. Name a time. Once that happens, I will get everything ready to go. With how long I've been trying to get this fucking thing going, I've had people reach out to me offering their help. So everything will be taken care of as soon as you answer the bell. I always say I'm not going to go too deep into it every episode because we all know what's going on. I'm challenging Randy. He's too big of a bitch to do it, so the offer's there. Either publicly announce that you are a pussy, or agree to a fight and let's get this thing going. See, this time I promise not to go too much into it, and I'm not going to. Already on the next topic. Man of my word, mostly. I want to get celebrity guests. I am a big fan. Not a big fan, but I think this show needs some celebrity guests. I've thrown out my few names. I've mentioned the Rachel Dolezals. I'd love to have her on the show. The weird dude from Spokane who wrote the crazy love letter to the 16-year-old at Starbucks, talking about how he has research, how they should knock up that guy. I forget who else, but there is plenty of people I would love to have a celebrity guest. I think the most, at least my end of the C Squared Hour, I think the most fitting guest, I just found this out, is a man by the name of Sean Morley. Who is that, you might ask? Well, if you're one of my QAnon followers, you know very well who that is. If you are a wrestling fan, you might remember him by the name of Val Venus from the Attitude Era Raw days. This was the guy who, during the Attitude Era, his whole thing was he was running through every broad in the world. That was his whole big thing. He would come out in a towel. His backstage, they would show him getting in the shower with fucking broads all the time. That was his gimmick. Was just nailing every broad in the world. Now, he has become a QAnon guy. How much of a QAnon guy, you ask? Well, he was kicked off Twitter for a while for sharing a pic, from what I understand, a Photoshop, of one of the Trump daughters and Hunter Biden having sex. Yeah, he's that deep into QAnon. All my QAnon people out there, you know I dabble. I will dabble in your little, I'm sorry, I can't say you, in our little, movement, I guess, or social club. But if you're sharing that picture, you are in deep. And again, let me remind you, this is the guy who spent his entire WWE career being the guy who wrestled and nailed broads. That was the whole thing. He knocked up a broad, or wait, maybe she didn't get knocked up. Maybe I'm in the middle of a Raw thing right now. He's still there right now. He's nailing Ken Shamrock's fake sister. This would be the perfect first celebrity guest. It would be perfect. This is the guy that we need on the show. This is what the show needs. I could talk to him about wrestling. I could talk to him about claiming that Joe Biden's a pedophile, where that comes from. I have so much shit I could talk to him about. Also, this might be a gettable guest. Actually, you know what? I think all my guests, for who I am, and maybe not for who I am, but for the reach I have and for the bar I'm setting for my guests, I think all my guests are pretty gettable. This might be my second long shot. I doubt Rachel Dolezal would ever talk to me. It'd be an awesome interview, though, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Yeah, Sean Morley. I've got to get him on the show. Goes from an Attitude Era wrestler to a QAnon. It would be one thing if he was like, I'm trying to think of a wrestler with a less extreme personality, but the fact that he was the guy running through nailing everybody, and now he's a QAnon guy. I mean, Ultimate Warrior's dead, so I can't go after him. He was kind of, he was more MAGA kind of right wing, wasn't he? He was more, your Rush Limbaughs rather than your QAnon. So, yeah, that's a tough one. But I mean, come on, a QAnon wrestler. How have I not already been on that? So if any of you follow him on Twitter or Instagram or wherever he's not kicked off, and you listen to the show, send him a link and say, hey, this guy would really, because I'm not going to reach out because I'm a little bitch boy. Send him a link and say, hey, this guy would really love to have a conversation with you. So his fledgling podcast with, I don't know how many people. I haven't checked my listeners in a while because I haven't wanted to hate myself. I figure if I check until it starts getting to like a real number, if I don't check my downloads religiously like I used to, it's a lot harder to get down on myself for this reason. But yeah, Sean Morley, if you follow him, if you know how to get in, hit him up for me. My DMs are wide open. A QAnon WWE wrestler. How fucking great is that? They tried it a little bit. Sami Zayn was like a conspiracy, but his character was, but that was nowhere near as good as this. A QAnon wrestler. How have I not already been, first of all, how did I not know that until this week? How did I, I'm so bad at this. All the stupid stuff I talk about when it comes to old school wrestling, when it comes to trying to get on the QAnon, I guess, listening list, you know, their palate cleanser. Once they're done talking about, lizard pedophiles and things along those lines, they can come here and cleanse their palate and know you're listening to someone who doesn't judge you. Or judge you more than I judge everyone else, including myself. How did I not know there was a QAnon wrestler? Anyway, reach out to Sean Morley, aka Val Venus. Let's get this going. I don't know if you noticed, I talk about my favorite tennis player all the time now. He made it to the finals of Wimbledon. If you don't know, that's one of their Grand Slams. He made it to the finals against Novak Djokovic and lost. But look, they're giving him shit because he got a quote-unquote walkover, which is their way of saying that the guy, Rafa Nadal, who he was supposed to play, had to back out because of injury. But when he got there, when he was in the final, he looked like he didn't look like he got a walkover. It looked like he earned his way there. So if you're going to talk shit about that, he just needed to, he gets himself wound up, and if he gets pissed off at, I noticed he gets pissed off at the crowd, gets pissed off at all this other shit, the referee. If he gets pissed off at himself, he does fine. I know that. That's how I am in any sort of thing. If I get pissed, you might hear it now. My best episodes that I do, I'm super pissed off at myself. Any sort of fake athletic thing that I do better if I'm pissed off at myself. So I get that. But when he gets pissed off at outside shit, like the fans, or he was mad at his family for some fucking reason, and it was... Anyway, that's when he started losing the shit. He blew through the first set, and then, started losing his shit. Then he got angry with himself, and he...
Shut up, bitch!
Okay, fine, I'll stop talking tennis. I know, no one gives a flying fuck about tennis. What I will say, I did figure out why tennis will never truly take off in this country. I don't know if I've said it before. I've said something kind of similar to this, but not enough sports fans want to watch the ultimate white woman sport. What do you mean by that, Chris? Well, I'll tell you. There are all sorts of arguments with the umpire over everything you could fucking think of in tennis. One of the most popular things you hear, or one of the... Let me talk to a supervisor. Let me talk to a supervisor. You hear that all the fucking time. At least 3 times every fucking tournament you watch. Someone wants to talk to a supervisor. That is white women to a T. And American sports fans don't like those kind of broads. They're married to them. They hate them. So you're never going to get tennis to fully take off until you get rid of that shit. It also doesn't help that all but one of their big events or their Grand Slams are on American time. That's a dumb way of saying that. But are at a time worth watching for people. So, like golf, you get a little bit more because, well, it's a white guy sport, and a lot of white sports fans, and they pretend they can play them, but the majority of the tournaments are on, prime afternoon viewing times in America. You only get that once in tennis, so you're not going to see that all. That's one of the reasons you're not going to see it take off. And again, it is the ultimate white woman sport. But I don't like how that wins. I need to talk to your supervisor. Okay, go ahead and do that. It must be a European. I wonder what part of the gene pool or the location. Why can't I think of the fucking...
You stupid.
Okay, yes, I know that's why I can't think of it, but genealogy, I wonder what part of the world that comes from, the let me talk to your supervisor thing. It's obviously a European thing because it's white women. That's where it comes from, and I wonder if it's a nature versus nurture thing. White women or the people who are going to ask for a supervisor are naturally drawn to tennis. Does tennis bring out that sort of... Who knows? There's a lot to quote-unquote unpack there. That's why none of you care when I talk about tennis, and that's why truly America's never gonna really like this Australian guy. If you're gonna get more fans, this is the guy you need. It goes back to like a McEnroe type thing. It's a personality. There hasn't been a real person. The closest thing to a personality, I think, probably Andre Agassi, which is the 90s. That was probably the closest thing you've had. Minus females, like you get the Venus and Serena. If you want to grow this is the guy you need. Even though, for all the reasons I don't like people in other sports, I think he's perfect for tennis. Because this ain't around. But he was once again fined for more behavior after he won or after he came in second. He was fined for more behavior for swearing and yelling, and the big news story that I read from Wimbledon was he was fined for behavior, and he was in front of the prince. Oh, my God.
Watch your profanity.
That is the prince right there. How could you fuck off with your prince? The royal family is the Kardashians. The only difference is their country's older, so they had different titles for them. That's it. That's all you are. You are the... And we had the... Oh, you have to be prim and proper. The fuck you do. Our ancestors got on boats to get away from giving a flying fuck about the assholes that live in that castle. Now we're back to giving a shit about it. Oh, he was fined for behavior in front of the... Shut up. Whatever, have your royal family. We have, the Kardashian. We have our quote unquote families that don't do shit that are still somehow relevant. We have our share of those. I'm not talking shit about... I guess I am a little bit, because, fuck you with your titles. Ew, I am the Duchess of something. We have it too. The shit I'm talking about it is, why are we still pretending that they are something special? Like we're supposed to... Oh, well, you have to treat the prince this way, and you have to treat the princess this way. You can't extend your hand for... Why? You're a fucking reality star. Your family just got into it before there was TVs, and so they were able to make up all these stupid fucking rules. In fact, if you look at other reality stars or other famous people, they have the same thing. Look at their writers. Don't look Miss Lopez in the eyes. Fuck the royal family. Fuck the blind loyalty to the Let's try that again, folks. Fuck the blind loyalty to the royal family. Fuck. You have to pretend like, they're so much above us. They're so proper. No, they're fucking not. Calm down. No one gives a shit anymore, nor should they. You wouldn't see that, oh, he had horrible behavior in front of the Kardashians of all people. You're the same fucking people. Another reason probably tennis will never take off. They allow that sort of shit to happen. They allow that sort of... Oh, in front of the world. There's not enough people to... Shut the fuck up about the royal family. Let's change gears here, because I am super proud of some of my scammers out there. Scam Facebook friends have gotten so much better. So much better. At least targeting their audience. Oh shit, I might need to slow down. This is my fourth since I started all this thing. Scam Facebook friends, they used to be like the super hot chicks that are like, and you could always tell which ones they were, but it appears the scammers have finally realized, they look through my profile pictures, this guy's never gonna buy that a super hot chick is just randomly becoming his Facebook friend out of the blue. My most recent one was a very old broad looking for a, quote, sugar baby to spoil financially. Okay, I can believe that a 70-year-old broad would look at my profile picture and say, hey, he looks like someone who could be a quote-unquote sugar baby for me. I could believe that. So, congratulations, Facebook scammers. I'm on board. I didn't fall for this first one. It was close. It was close. I was closer than I was for any of the super fake hot broads. You're getting closer. You're getting closer. I think we need to ask more from our internet scammers. And the problem is, people are still falling for the Nigerian prince thing. We gotta ask more from our scammers, and whoever was trying to scam me with that profile, kudos. You were much closer than most people ever have been. I was just trying to lighten the mood there, because here is what I warned you all about. Once again, I have to talk about Brittany fucking Griner. I know I've been beating it to death. Once again, I think it's because I was on the story before it was a big story, but it was the only thing fucking going on this week. And with how quickly I'm knocking this shit out, this is going to be a shorter episode than usual, so... Brittany Griner is still in court. I guess she just pled guilty in Russia, whatever. Everyone who's trying to help her, you're fucking up. All this, I'll wear her number and I'll have her name, we'll all have her name on our jerseys at the All-Star game. You're doing more harm than good. Remember there was the original rumor that they wanted a convicted arms dealer to trade for her? Obviously, you're not getting a fucking arms dealer for Brittany Griner. That's just not going to happen. But now that Russia is going to see all these things, all these tweets going around, all this support, all these bring her home, they're going to think, oh, wow, we have a serious bargaining chip on our hands. When you don't, there's no news going on. There's no news going on. We're not close enough to the November elections. When there was real shit going on, this wasn't a story. Now everything's over and we're done with, and now it's worth a shit. But you're overplaying your hand because now Russia is going to be seeing oh wow, look at how beloved she is. I bet we can get 2 arms dealers for her now. And because they see all this, they're not going to realize that no, this is just the flavor of the month. You're not helping her out. You need to calm down all that shit. The only way you're going to get her back quickly is pretending you don't fucking care. They're only using her as a bargaining chip. We all know that. During a war that the West is not very favorable of, they found a way, whether it was planted or not, or they found something to say, maybe we have a bargaining chip, maybe we don't. You gotta pretend like you don't care, so then they're like, okay, well, this didn't work, so I guess we'll just let her go. You gotta stop shoving everything down our throat. And hey, wait, I thought we weren't allowed to shove things down people's throats anymore. I guess that wasn't that good, but yeah, talk about women's sports, you talk about it's close enough. And here's the big thing that's really, no one knows how to frame an argument anymore. No one knows how to read the room. Like I said, it's so much just our main communications are text. So you can't read inflection. You can't read. So no one knows how to frame an argument anymore. You gotta use percentages if you're saying, well, LeBron wouldn't, they say, well, LeBron would have been home already. And then then everyone says, actually, no, LeBron wouldn't have been in this position because he wouldn't have. There's that argument. You've all seen the memes going around. You've all seen it. I'm not going to repeat them all. But use percentages. Because they say, LeBron would have never got caught. And then the person who's super on Brittany Griner's side said, well, actually, he would never be in the position where he'd have to go to a hostile environment to try to make a living because they don't get paid enough here. He makes $43 million a year, while she only makes $220,000 a year. Only $220,000? Could you imagine a dentist saying, I gotta go practice in Fallujah because I can make $400,000 over there and then come back and make $200,000. You'd say, what the fuck are you doing? $200,000 is plenty. It's not worth dodging bombs and having to deal with these fucking douchebags. But we're not saying the same fucking thing with a female basketball player? Why? Because Stephen Curry makes $45 million a year? You're making $220,000. And again, these people who aren't really framing the argument saying, how dare they only give it? making fucking six figures. Anyone who's making six figures does not have to jump an ocean and go into an hostile environment to make more money. You don't have to. In fact, you might be better off staying here and trying to grow your league over here so you don't have to do it if you're making six figures. And the fact that people are using that as an excuse, like, oh yeah, that's why she went over to Russia. No, she wanted more money. She didn't need more. She didn't need that extra $400,000 if you live within your 200. But what about LeBron making $42 million? Irrelevant. They're playing different sports. Well, no, they're both playing. No, there's a difference between. We know. They're playing different sports. But the idiots who aren't going to understand, who say, well, why is she over there? Why would you go there? And then you're trying to make the argument, well, because LeBron, look at how much LeBron makes and look at how much she makes. If you use the actual number, the idiots who you're trying to convince are going to look at it like, yeah, make it 60. If you use percentages, they're just as easy to throw away. Like, oh yeah, he makes 500%. I don't know how percentages work. Anyone knows what that percentage is, let me know. But, oh yeah, he makes 500% more than her. Oh yeah, no wonder she had to jump over to Russia. You take the extra step, you figure out what that means. But no one feels bad for you making six figures. You chose to do that because you want to semi-live or you want to feel close to living like, or looking like you live the professional athlete when you're not there yet. Your league's not there yet. You're not there yet. Simmer down, woman. That was a real mean way of saying that, wasn't it? I guess that's what the annoying part was. No one's trying to convince anybody else. No one's trying to get their point across. Everyone is trying to make a meme, a tweet. God, this is so fucking hacky. I'll just finish this real quick and then they want to get the majority of their side to share it. And that's the extent of what they want. They're not sending this stuff to try to change anything or do anything. They're trying to get the most of their audience, their core audience, to share it around, and they're going to say that's good. I guess that's where my issue's coming in. Now that I'm noodling this through, my issue is coming in that these people are coming out and they're saying, "Oh no, we're tweeting these stuff. We're using these numbers and our platform to try to change things." And then they do shit like that. No, you're not trying to change things, because if you're trying to change things, you would use a different phrasing to get your argument across. It's the phoniness I don't like. Don't say you're tweeting stuff out, I'm trying to make changes here. No, you're not. You're trying to get most of your people to give you that big ol' thumbs up. Just admit what you're really doing. And if you're really trying to change shit, then let's make sure you're phrasing the argument right. I mean, perfect example of this. Her coach in the WNBA, she comes out and says, well, if this was LeBron James, he'd be home already. Which, she's probably right. I don't, and that's where those tweets are coming out. Well, LeBron wouldn't have had to been there, or LeBron wouldn't have done this, or that's where those quotes are coming in. Anyway, she tweets out LeBron would be home already. Is the reason she's not here, is it a gay thing? Well, probably not. Well, is it a woman thing? Probably. Be quite honest, a female athlete unfortunately ranks a lot lower in this country than a male athlete. So that's probably the issue. And she's like, well, is it a black thing? Well, obviously not if you're using the fucking LeBron example. How fucking stupid is that? I get your point, and you're right. You are making a good point, but once you say, well, is it a black thing? If you're comparing it to LeBron, obviously it's not. Again, frame your fucking argument. Be better at this. If you're trying to change shit, you gotta be better. Even if you're trying to just make a point, you gotta be better at this. Is it a black thing? Then don't use LeBron. Of course, he's the closest equivalent, so you can't say... Yeah, you're right. You could use the... Well, maybe it's because she's gay. Maybe. Maybe it's because she's a woman athlete instead of a man athlete. Yep, you're probably right there. That's probably most likely. That's probably 90% of it. It's 0% the race thing if you're comparing the two. I want people to be better. That's what I want. I want to raise the game for everybody. If you're going to make arguments, make them better. If you're going to be funny, be funnier. Yes, I know. You're talking to the wrong fucking guy, right? Well, maybe you should try it first. Thanks, inner voice. Let's just start raising the bar. Let's start calling out people on these stupid arguments, even if it's on yours, even if you agree with their point. If they have a stupid fucking argument, call them out on it. Well, she only makes 220. She makes fucking 6 figures. That's what... I don't know the numbers, but probably the top 10%, maybe top 15% in the country of salaries. So she has to go to Russia. No, she doesn't. I understand why she would want to. I understand there's more money to be made over there, which is kind of a shitty thing. But don't pretend like that's not a lot of money. Comparatively, yes, it's not a lot of money, but we're comparing her to the rest of the fucking world. Be better with your arguments. Be better. Build back better. No, that's a whole different thing, isn't it? Build back better. What's that? Well, that had nothing to do with tweets, did it?
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Oh, okay. It was something along those lines. I digress. Just make your arguments better. This is just another thing where most people who are tweeting about it are on the right side and have the right... Holy shit, I'm fucking stupid. Most of them are trying to do the right thing with sharing stuff. Just be better at it. God, my fucking chair is fucked. Be better at it. That's all I ask. Like I said, this might be a shorter episode because slow news week. I had one more note I had to say, and I wrote this early, and then further into the week, it changed a little bit, so I'm gonna change what I said here. I have to apologize to number 3 draft pick out of Gonzaga University, Chet Holmgren. Kind of. Apologize to Chet Holmgren. Kind of. I talk a lot of shit about Gonzaga basketball, and I talked a lot of shit about how he's super scrawny, probably going to get out-muscled like he's done in every fucking tournament game he's played in. And then he goes out there in his first summer league game, which is the NBA's basically preseason or rookie combine or what have you. He goes out there and he just fucking annihilates shit. So I'm like, maybe me only watching 3 months worth of basketball and talking like I watch it 12 months a year, maybe I was wrong again. And then the next game he goes out and lays a goose egg, so it's, oh, okay. So it was a feast or famine sort of situation. So again, I look at him, and you look at the other big men, and he doesn't look like he's built as well as them. Doesn't look like he's... Is there anything gayer than the way people talk like combines and shit like that? Oh, well, if you look at how thick the legs are on that one, oh, we would love to have him on our team. I'll say it. I think if you are a scout or a draft analysis, you're just hiding your homosexuality. That's all you're doing. You want to look at look at the arms on him. Oh, that physique. Oh, that would definitely translate into the upper level. Anyway, he looks scrawny. He looked small in college, or he looked scrawny in college. But his first game out, he proved that, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Second game out, he proved, hey, maybe I'm right. So who the fuck knows? I'm an idiot. I don't love being the, I guess, anti-Homer. I don't like being that guy. I don't like saying, I guess I just don't like blind following of anything. It's like, oh, well, you live here, so you must think that they are great, or you have to think they're great, or you're a fan of them, so you have to say everything they do. No, let's call it. And so the more, you guys know, I just like arguing. I argue with myself on this show. If I hear an argument, I'm going to think of the counterpoint. Living in the area I do, I hear nothing about how all I hear is Gonzaga is basically Duke. And every player is basically Christian Laettner in college. And so I have to say, pump the brakes. And I'm thinking the whole time, shut the fuck up. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. If I didn't hear that much about it, I probably wouldn't have this much of a, disdain's the wrong word, but such a, I'm sorry, okay, I'm stupid, I can't think of the fucking phrase. The problem is, I hear too much about how fucking shit hot they are, and how great they're gonna be, and so even when it comes to a national level, it's like, look, let's calm down a little bit, alright? Let's make sure we know who the fuck we're talking about. I don't like being this guy. The problem is, sports fans are too blindly loyal. Sports fans and super patriotic people and car people. There's going to be more. I'm going to think of more as I go along here. But you get super in on one side, I'm gonna want to tell you to fuck off, and I'm gonna want to tell you that you are wrong. I'm gonna point out all the reasons you're wrong. Alright, I'm spiraling a little bit. All I want to say is, hey, apologies to Chet Holmgren, or I'm sorry I was right, Mr. Holmgren. That's probably gonna do it for this episode. Yep, that's gonna do it. So I want to thank everyone for checking it out. I want to thank everybody who contributes to me, who shares this, who shares the store, who shares everything around. Even though some of you who claim to be some of my best friends won't even share this on their fucking... I want to thank everybody for doing that. Again, share this around. Like, subscribe. Everything you can do, everything you can... Check out the merch store. The links are on all my socials. I don't think I have anything else, and since I have nothing else, I will see you all next time.